This is a demonstration of using Starry Landscape Stacker to process images with reflections. So here we have a reflection in the foreground here in this lake, as well as our typical starry sky. The key thing is that the stars in the reflection are moving in the opposite direction to the stars in the sky. That's because they're mirror imaged. So we can't simply just select a mask with everything here in the foreground and everything here in the sky. Instead, we have to do it in two parts and assemble the results with Photoshop. So first, we're going to do the sky. The fastest way to get to that is I'm going to select G here, large mask, and we're just going to erase all the red dots here in the lake. And now I'm going to find the sky. Okay, we can clean that up. Down here, good. Now we can align and save. And we're going to save this as the sky element, and then we'll later do the reflection element. Okay, so I'm going to add a dash sky here to the end so we know this is the sky that we've prepared, and we're going to save that. Now we're going to go back and say adjust stars and delete the mask because we need a whole new mask. I'm going to go through, delete all these red dots, all of them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting in some red dots in the lake, at least around the edges. So I've brightened it up a bit because the lake is a bit dark, and now I'm going to paint. I use the S key there to switch to painting sky. I'm just going to follow along the edge of the lake here. Now I know there's a rock sticking up in this lake, one rock, and I'll go in and have a look at that in a moment. You also have to be careful of anything that's sticking up in the lake and make sure it's included as ground and not as sky. So let's zoom in here. All right, so there's a rock here. We gotta make sure that that is counted as ground and not as sky. We want the stars as sky because it's of course a reflection of the sky. Okay, so now we're going to say find sky. Okay, so we missed some of the red dots in the actual sky, so we'll clean that up. G key and then just erase those. Now let's zoom in here and see how we did. Oops, how are we going to find it? Let's zoom back out. Where's my rock? My rock is about there. Oops, that didn't work so well, so we'll use a small brush and just do that. I'm using the O key to toggle back and forth, toggle the mask on and off. Okay, right, good. We'll zoom out and paint sky with a fairly large brush. Get that and get that, larger brush. Get the rest of the lake. Take a look over here, see if we have to do any cleanup over here. Oh, we'll just, I don't think there's any visible stars in there, but we'll just give it a touch. That looks good. That looks good. Oh, there's a star. Get that. There's a star. Okay. We'll zoom out, and then just as we normally do, we'll just touch up the edges, larger brush. Touch up the edges. Okay, align and save. This is probably going to take longer because the the stars aren't quite as sharp, so it's more difficult to align them. They're not sharp because they're reflections and there was a little bit of movement in the lake. And there's also a lot fewer of them, making the alignment task more difficult. And when this is done, we will save this as the reflection element. So I will change the name, -reflection, and say save. You can see here that the reflections are pretty sharp and lower noise. So we now have our two elements. We have our sky and our reflections. And it's a simple matter of using Photoshop or some other photo editing application to combine the two images using, say, the above the horizon from the sky version and below the horizon from the reflection version. And then you'll have a image with nice sharp sky, a nice sharp reflection, and the alignment of the stars and the reflection with respect to the sky will be correct.